Hello everyone, my name is Distra, and I want to show you the game that I have been wasting the most hours on as of recently. So, just a quick note, my in-game name is actually Mesa. It carries over from World of Tanks, just so you are not utterly confused. So, yes, this is actually me, although you might not think it is. Anyway, so what I'm gonna show you is World of Warships, which is an amazing World War II-ish, and kind of before that as well, like interwar period, and I guess also as far back as World War I for certain ships, but mostly World War II naval action game, and it's amazing at it. So, this ship is the Tier 6 American Cleveland Cruiser, and what basically is the characteristic for this ship is, or characterizes this ship, is that it has an amazing rate of fire with its 4 turrets, 4 main turrets, with 3, oh, what's the caliber? 100 and something, 150 maybe, millimeters each. And they can fire a shot every, I believe, 6 seconds, or close to that. They can have multiple barrages in the air at the same time. And yes, this was a very good game, and I thought it would be a good place to start when it comes to me uploading all of Warships. Of course, I would like your thoughts on this game, and of course, if you'd like to see more of this kind of videos, I'd like to hear about that in the comment section down below. Anyway, so we're currently playing a game where you basically have to cap the circle right there, but, well, you can't just rush in there. You can, but you're probably gonna die. So, currently, what I and seemingly most of my team that spawn on this side is thinking is to get around this little island right here and try to eliminate the team, or the part of the enemy team that spawns around here. Also, there are aircraft carriers in this game, and all of those things in the air are aircraft squadrons. There you have the torpedo bombers, and you can see torpedoes are now in the water, safely away from me. You have those guys right there. They are the dive bombers. They can be quite deadly for the right targets. If you hit battleships, they don't really do that much. And you also have some fighters, but I can't seem to see any fighters around there. Oh well. So, the enemy aircraft carrier, he did something that maybe wasn't the best idea. He basically let his entire aircraft fleet over a bunch of ships with lots and lots of anti-aircraft guns. And I'm already secured myself 4 kills with them. Anyway, the first actual naval engagement between 2 ships are happening. And that is an enemy destroyer. What does destroyers do? Well, they are very lightly armored. As you can see, I'm doing quite a bit of damage to him already. But they can launch torpedoes. Lots and lots of them. And as you can see there, my friendly destroyer right there just got hit by a bunch of torpedoes himself. But the enemy destroyer unfortunately did take a huge risk there, and it well, I guess it paid off, but not really. He died very, very quickly. He can also lay down a smoke screen, which kind of hinders visibility and makes him able to hide. So that's good for him, but it didn't really work out. So also another thing that goes well with the cruisers are the high turret rotation, which means that I can easily shift from the destroyer to the aircraft carrier, which can see right there in the distance, and back again. But for now, I'm gonna focus on the aircraft carrier, and he seems to be AFK. So this is a great meal of basically experience points for me feasting on all his HP. And as you can see off to the side here, I'm getting some solid target hits. I'm critically damaging certain components, and eventually it all gets tied up here. Also, I got a hit to the Citadel, which is basically a critical hit with just quite a lot of damage. I'm currently firing high explosive, so basically what they do, they're best against light ships, and cruisers, and to a certain degree aircraft carriers. And it does have a chance of setting the enemy target on fire. But now that I'm fighting this Congo, which is a battleship, I really should use armor piercing if I think my guns can actually penetrate the target, which it can't always do. It really depends on the caliber. But yeah, I decided to stick with the HE, the high explosive, and try to set them on fire as much as possible. Also, another thing that is, yeah, I guess this is, well, if you're very new to World of Warships, have never seen it before, then this might be going a bit fast. But basically what I'm doing here is trying to completely stop my speed. And basically think that the Congo thinks, well, I'm trying to get the Congo to think that I have a constant speed, which means it doesn't have to shift his fire. But as you can see there, he actually missed me, he shot in front of me, and that's because I slowed down. So what I'm doing now is speeding up again. So I'm trying to have him guess his range. But the Congo, as you can see, isn't doing the same thing. I am aiming at the same point right in front of him, and he's just continually pummeled by my fast-firing guns. And very soon, there we go. Second kill secured. So, we've taken care of pretty much all of the enemy team that spawned around here. Very rapidly, in fact. And we're doing very, very well on this side of the battlefield. When it comes to the other part of the team, they're not doing that well. And the score is 6-5. Which could have been a lot better, but oh well. So I said that about destroyers not being, well, not being the most bulky targets and not being able to take the most punishment, but they are the most maneuverable. So they are definitely the ship in the game that has the easiest time when it comes to dodging incoming enemy fire. Of course, when you have 3 cruisers shooting at you with a heck of a lot of guns, then you might be in trouble. But I didn't get a single hit in there. Even with, what was it, 4 barrages? 3? Anyway. So, we're at a bit of a quiet point in this game. And, well, until now. Because, shock, he fired torpedoes! Thankfully, he decided to spread them a bit. And that torpedo barely misses me. That was pretty lucky. And it was actually pretty important. As you will see later on. Because, as I said, the torpedoes that the destroyers and some carriers, mostly the Japanese carrier, not carriers, but cruisers, the Japanese cruisers, fire, they do loads of damage. Much more than their airborne counterparts. So yeah. Currently, the enemy has, well, they will have in time 3 cruisers in the cap circle. And I'm steaming ahead at full speed at 31 knots, which is actually pretty high, over to try to get into range and try to get some, well, basically stop them from capping, as simple as that. And we can speed this up a bit while we wait for that. And I'm following what my camera saw during the game, so it's shifting around a bit rapidly at this top speed. Anyway, I'm finally beginning to actually hit them. And as you can see, we have a lot of health to take down. I'm also up against 2 Clevelands. So basically I'm up against 2 copies of myself. For now. We're also gonna see a destroyer eventually that actually surpasses me. Which is interesting. But thankfully I'm not alone, although I believe it was a cruiser, went down. A friendly ship went down. But thankfully, the amount of guns we have, and as you can see, I'm continually just hitting the targets. And getting targeted by aircraft torpedoes, but thankfully they miss pretty badly. Anyway, shifting targets, I believe they lost one of their cruisers, and there they lost the other. So the only cruiser they have left in the entire game is this Atlanta. And it's currently 3 against 1. Oh dear, not good for them. So this is basically the strength of the cruisers. Lots of guns and a rapid firing rate. As opposed to the battleships, which has, well, they also have lots of guns, but the reload times are painful at times. Anyway, the game was pretty even at a point, but right now we are up against 2 enemy ships, a destroyer at half health, and a carrier with 0 protection from this side. So I was thinking that I should probably just cap this one out and get experience that way, and dodge torpedoes that aren't actually going to reach me. But I decided, well, why not? Let's go for the enemy carrier, which is going to come at its own risks, as we will see. So I decided to try to find the enemy carrier, but the map is big, so I was wondering where to go, but thankfully I can follow these aircraft squadrons. And as you can see, they are, well, this guy, the torpedo bomber, is going directly home to the aircraft carrier. So it's not that hard to actually find them. Also, the cruisers have an ability, as you can see on the with the Y button down there, that increases the amount of anti-aircraft fire you'll output at a well, at a very limited time. And in this case, it definitely did pay off. So I got quite a few aircraft shot down medals there. We're up to 10, which is pretty nice. That's also a cruiser ability. Anyway, so any minute now. Yeah, this is the free camera, by the way. Just for the record. So, I see the squad of torpedo bombers over there. They're getting chased by a friendly fighter squadron, which are very efficient at taking down slow-moving targets, or slower-moving targets, like that. So I'm quite confident at this point. So, we currently do only have 3 ships against 2, but the enemy ships we're actually fighting against are not the best, so I'm actually pretty confident here. And here comes the danger. The carrier definitely has noticed that I'm going directly for it, and because of that, he's now dropping torpedoes against me, which is a very good idea indeed. And try as I might, I cannot avoid that torpedo hit. But if you paid attention to the health down here, which you can see right there, and with points right there, it didn't drop that badly. And if I'll show you a game later on, in another video, where I play as a destroyer, you can see that the shipborne torpedoes definitely do take a lot more damage when they hit. But I'm looking out for these guys as well. More potential torpedoes in the water. And I currently can't take that. And another wave of torpedoes. And I thankfully dodged that. And at the same time I take a not a torpedo, but a dive bomb hit. Thankfully that didn't hit that badly for that much damage. So I did actually find the enemy aircraft carrier. And I earned an achievement, Confederate, which we'll take a look at later on. And I also earned the high caliber. And, well, those are, well, for me at least, they're rare achievements. I've only gotten one of them each. And that was in this game. Surprise, I know. So, carrier ish down. Ooh, with a hit to the citadel. Critical damage. And now all that remains is the enemy destroyer. And I'm seeing that my allies are capping. And I'm thinking the destroyer is not going to be suicidal. He's not going to, well, he might try, but he's probably not going to try to die needlessly. And turns out he doesn't either. So basically what I'm doing here is just to farm me some last minute aircraft kills. Which I actually do pretty successfully. At the same time, my allies cap out the last of the remaining cap points. So I managed to get a last minute hit in here. And once this is done, I'll get straight to the result screen, which I thankfully screenshotted. It's a bit annoying, but you tend to lose them if you don't. Anyway, I'm gonna hit the... let's see, there we go. Basically the pause button, and I'm gonna say we're gonna go straight to the result screen and take a look at it. So just before I head to the result screen, I want to show you what I actually got those 2 achievements for, and as you can see, I only have 1 of each, as I said. So one of them is the high caliber, damage at least 4 enemy ships. The damage caused must exceed 30% of the total combat capability of all the ships on the enemy team, so I basically did over 30% of the damage that the entire enemy team had shared, which is amazing. And for the Confederate, it's kinda similar. It says damage at least 6 enemy ships, damage caused to each ship must exceed 20% of her normal combat capability, and that is for each individual ship. Anyway, so let's head to the actual result screen. So in the end, I received 400,000 credits. I got 5,700 experience points, which I believe was the first win of the day, which still is pretty amazing. I hit the targets almost 200 times and destroyed 3 ships. So it doesn't really matter too much about how many kills you get in World of Warships, but it does definitely matter a lot more how many how many hits you actually get, how much damage you do. So that is pretty sweet, I like that. So, if we jump over to there you go, take a look at the damage I got in the detail report. You can see that I hit with 80 shells, and only 8E shells, and I almost got 100,000 damage from that, and added the fire damage that I delivered, I almost get up to 110,000 damage done, which is pretty amazing. Well, at least it is for me, so I'm pretty satisfied with that. And lastly, on team score, yes, I was the one that did the most damage and got the most experience. Well, damage and experience kind of go hand in hand in some circumstances, but shout out to the Omaha, which almost did as well as I did. So good job being a tier under and everything in a match where we are 2 tiers under the maximum. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy this video, and of course if you do, I'll continue to make more of them, and I really want to because I love playing this game. Although, I'll have to warn you, the other games will probably not be as good as this one, although I have some pretty good ones stored up. Anyway, I thank you so much for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye for now.